Welcome to Mr. Garofalo's podcast for finding the equation of a line given 2 points. This is problem number 4 from page 406 in your textbook, and in this problem we're asked to write the equation of a line that passes through the points 0, -3 and 1, -1. Remember from class, if we want to write the equation of a line, we need two very important pieces of information. One is the value of m, which is our slope, and the other is the value of b, which is our y-intercept. In this problem, we don't know either of them. So, if this occurs, the first thing you'll want to do is use the 2 points to find the slope. You'll have to go back to your slope formula from earlier in the unit, which says that the difference in the y values over the difference in the x values is equal to the slope, our rise over run. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. In this problem, I'm going to label 0, -3 as x1, y1, and 1, -1 as x2, y2. So my slope formula calculation will be -1 minus -3 over 1 minus 0. Okay, -1 minus -3, 1 minus 0. And the numerator, or the rise, will be -1 plus 3 over 1 minus 0, which is 1. And the slope becomes 2 over 1, which is just 2. So the slope of the line that they're asking us to write the equation for is 2. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to put that just on, jot that down so I can recall that when it comes time to finish out the problem. So now our next step would be to figure out what the y-intercept is. There are a couple of ways to do this, as you learned in class today. One is to use the slope-intercept form of a linear function. And at this point, you should be getting very familiar with the y equals mx plus b, which is the slope-intercept form of a line. What you're going to do is replace the x and y values with either one of these points and replace the m with the slope so that you can solve for the y-intercept. So I'll use the point 0, -3. I'm going to replace y with -3. I'm going to replace m with the slope that we just found, 2, and the x value, 0. So it becomes -3 equals 2 times 0 plus b. 2 times 0 would be 0, and b plus 0 is just b, so the y-intercept is -3. I'm going to go write that down next to where I had my slope, because now I'm ready to write the equation of the line. The equation would be y equals 2x minus 3 in slope-intercept form, and that's our answer. Okay? So the first step, find the slope. The second step, find the y-intercept using the slope-intercept form. Now there is another way to do this, and I want to review that with you here in this podcast. There's something called the point-slope form of a linear function, which I taught to you today. And the point-slope form looks like y minus y1 is equal to the slope times x minus x1. I derived this in class. It comes from the slope formula. I'm not going to go over that in this video. However, if you want to go over it with me, I'll be happy to do it at extra help. In this particular setup, this y and x value are what we call the generic x and y. We're not going to substitute for them. However, x1, y1 is going to be replaced by one of those points that they gave us. So for instance, maybe I'll use 0, -3 again. That's going to go for x1, y1. The m, of course, is going to replace with the slope, which we found as +2. So this is going to be y minus the -3 is equal to the slope 2 times x minus 0. Now at this point, you're going to try to get this to end up looking like this in slope-intercept form. So the point-slope form can be simplified down so that it ends up looking like this. To do that, you want to isolate y. So first thing I'll see is I have a double negative. So I know the negation of -3 is just +3. And then I'll need to distribute my 2. 2 times x is 2. 2 times 0 would just be 0. So I'm not going to write 0. To isolate y, then you would subtract 3 from both sides, and you get y is equal to 2x minus 3. And look at that. It's in the slope-intercept form. If we go back up to the beginning, that was the same equation we got when we used the other method. So some students will like this because there's no plugging in to do at the end of the problem. All the substituting goes on right here in this step, and then when you simplify down, you'll get your equation in slope-intercept form. Hopefully this was helpful, and good luck on your homework, and I'll see you in class.